Okay, but when you find someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards.
Beat Canelo until somehow over a long period of time Canelo beat.
Canelo responded strongly to Terence Crawford at the press conference, saying that Crawford is not on his level. He criticized fighters who just try to survive all 12 rounds instead of giving an exciting and competitive fight. Canelo believes that playing it safe makes the fight boring and lets down the fans who want a good show. Kell Brook, who has fought top-level opponents like Gennady Golovkin and Terence Crawford, gave a serious warning about the upcoming fight between Crawford and Canelo. Brook said this fight is a completely different challenge for Crawford. He explained that Canelo's style is unique and very different from the fighters Crawford has faced before. While Crawford is shorter and depends mostly on his speed and...
It's a wow fight, you know what I mean? It's two supreme athletes fighting against each other, but you've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's gonna have to, move up, and I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's it's okay, but when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but Crawford's very, very, very good.
You think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got.
Brook pointed out that Canelo can adjust his style during a fight and use his physical strength to take control, which makes things very tough for his opponents. Facing a strong and versatile fighter like Canelo needs a different way of thinking and special preparation. Brook said he believes Canelo's style gives him an advantage, and his message to Crawford was clear. This is not the same kind of opponent Crawford has.
Not moving Canelo if he needs to.
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more. He kind of sets his feet. He's cute with how he approaches, chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather. But like I say, it's one of them what we've got to tune into and watch. Both unbelievable fighters, but I'd have to favour Canelo. Just his size and his experience, and just his ring generalship. He's got confidence.
Veteran commentator Jim Lampley has shown strong confidence that Canelo Alvarez will beat Terence Crawford. He said that while Crawford is a very talented fighter with an impressive record, Canelo has the experience, strength, and mental toughness that make him a tough opponent. Lampley believes that Canelo's past wins against top fighters in different weight classes give him an advantage. His high ring IQ and ability to control the pace and space in the ring help him lead the fight, which Lampley sees as very important. He also mentioned that Canelo's defense and counterpunching skills could stop Crawford's attacks. In the end, Lampley's view is that Canelo's all-around abilities give him the upper hand, even though
he's a great defender. He has the most solid punch resistance of anybody in the sport. Nobody's ever knocked him off balance. Nobody's ever really knocked him down. There's only one official knockdown in his career, and it was because he bounced off the ropes when Jose Cotto hit him with a hard shot to the chest. And the referee employed a strict interpretation of the rules and said, oh, the ropes held you up, so that's a knockdown. He's never been put on his back by anybody. He rides horseback every morning. His legs are the strongest in the sport. You're not going to beat Canelo until somehow over a long period of time Canelo beats himself. If he gets tired of all the discipline he has had to employ to make all the money he's made, if he has enough giant ranches in the Yucatan, if he has enough beautiful horses, if he has had enough unforgettable dinners with Mexican billionaires in Mexico City and Vegas, then maybe. But my guess is he will retire without incurring another loss, because it's important to him to do that.
Which implies You like him against Bud Crawford.
I do like him against Bud Crawford, but I do think that it's a great fight. Now, I could change my mind when we get closer. Bud Crawford, to me, is a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the multiple skills of Sugar Ray Robinson. He can defend or attack. He has a deep inner mean streak that he can employ at any moment in a fight to get what he wants. You know, before the fight against, help me out here,
Madrimov was his last fight. Spence?
Spence.
Yes.
Before the fight against Errol Spence, there were quite a lot of people in the sport, in boxing media, who were saying, you know, I like Spence to win the fight. I was one of those people who said, no way. Errol.
Terence Crawford's career clearly shows his talent and achievements. He has shown excellent boxing skills, power, and the ability to adapt in the ring, earning his spot among the sport's top fighters. However, there's a contrast in how people see his style. While boxing experts admire his technical skills and smart tactics, the general public often prefers flashier and more aggressive fighters. Crawford usually fights with careful precision, mixing strong defense with sharp counterattacks and smart pressure. Even though this style works well, some people say it's not exciting because it doesn't always bring the fast-paced action that casual fans want. Because of this, many fans don't fully recognize or appreciate the high level of skill Crawford brings to the ring.
On the other hand, he has been walking down his fighters, and people don't see that but me. For some reason, when I had that tape, people were screaming cat. And it's like David Ebenezer, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Gamboa, a meme machine. Even against Madrimov, the way he won the fight was by fighting. It wasn't Floyd Mayweather sticking. This guy has been too athletically gifted, and I mean explosive, hard punching, and too strong for his ops. When he's in orthodox, he boxes more. When he switched, he becomes a puncher. And now he's coming out southpaw. He ends you. He is not, you gotta watch him fight. He does do athletic things where his hands and his feet work together and he catches you for sure. But what he mostly do is he punishes and he bullies his op because he walks you down and whips your ass. He's an
Boxing analyst Bomac has a different opinion. He respects Canelo's talent but believes Crawford's better technical skills give him the advantage. According to Bomac, Canelo is clearly a top-level fighter, but Crawford's accuracy, speed, and control in the ring make him stand out in this matchup. Bomac also talked about how motivated and well-prepared Crawford is, saying that he always shows strong focus and readiness before a fight. This mental sharpness, along with his polished skills, helps Crawford control fights and outsmart his opponents. While Canelo's power and experience make him a tough challenge, Bomac thinks Crawford's smart strategy and technical abilities could make the difference, especially if he sticks to his game plan. This shows that the fight could be more of a thinking battle than just a test of power.
Canelo Alvarez. It was interesting to see the comments from Canelo on how he sort of assessed Bud Crawford's career. I almost feel after the Spence fight that was like an exclamation point on everything he's done, maybe from the critics who never gave him credit, but it almost seems like Canelo was downplaying his achievements. What do you make of that? Is that to build a fight? Because it sells itself.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say he hasn't fought nobody or no everybody that he fought was a no name. But I'm gonna tell you like this: what Crawford said. Well, they was something until Crawford fought him. So obviously he's doing a great job because he's making everybody look normal.
Not everyone, like when they go against Canelo, you know, I don't think there's anyone else in boxing who you would ask and say this is a possible task for, but for Crawford because of his pound for pound abilities, and apparently no rehydration clause. Am I hearing that right? He wants full smoke at that weight.
Let's go, man. That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best. So, hey, why put stipulations in there when you know that you can be the best? So, let's go test ourselves.
Look, I appreciate you taking this time. We don't get to speak all the time, so it's good to get you over here, and maybe we can.
Canelo Alvarez's business manager, who is known for handling one of the most successful careers in boxing, made some strong statements about Canelo's physical advantages before the fight with Crawford. The manager said that Canelo's body is built in a special way that helps him take punches and avoid getting hurt. This, according to him, is something that makes Canelo different from many other fighters in the sport.
Any ideas from Skull? I don't think he did. I think Crawford is a hell of a fighter, and it's going to be a hell of a fight.
How does weight play a part in that fight?
Oh, what?
How does weight play a part in that fight, do you feel?
Weight?
Weight. The size difference.
Oh, no, I don't think that, that doesn't, like you saw today, the guy was like, I don't know how much taller. It didn't really play into it either. But Crawford is a hell of a fighter, and you saw today when they did the face-off in the ring, they're virtually height-wise, they are virtually the same. Crawford might even be a little bit taller, but when you look at Canelo, the way he's built, his legs, his shoulders, his neck, that is why he's never been hurt. And he's never been hurt fighting fighters at a substantially higher weight, substantially bigger than him, and they still couldn't hurt him.
Yeah.
And then you look at Crawford, who is a smaller guy, is moving up 2 weight classes, tried at 154, barely won, couldn't hurt Madrimov, and now he's going to go against the guy with the best chin in the sport. That's why probably odds maker have Canelo as a favorite. But having said all of that, Crawford is just a hell of a fighter. I was there when he fought.
According to the manager, Canelo's fitness, muscle build, and strong defensive skills have helped him avoid serious injuries even against powerful opponents. This toughness is seen as a key advantage that could play an important role in the fight against Crawford, who is physically smaller and less powerful. The manager also pointed to Crawford's recent fights to suggest that he might not have the strength needed to handle Canelo's solid build and strong resistance.
The way he just totally neutralized Spence's strengths was absolutely, it was breathtaking to watch this. So Crawford is a very skilled fighter, very smart fighter, but again, he's never fought anybody like Canelo. You look at Canelo's resume. Canelo fought, now it's 21 former or current world champions. There's only 2 fighters in the history of boxing who have more than that. One of them is Floyd Mayweather with 24, and the other one is Manny Pacquiao with 23. And he's the only active fighter who fought so many world champions. So I think experience will play a big factor as well. You look at Canelo's resume, but it is, I think, the biggest fight that can be made. I think it's the biggest fight the sport has seen going back to as long as I can remember. I think it's just simple. And I've done some big fights with Floyd Mayweather, and I did Floyd Mayweather and Canelo.
Of course.
I promoted.
Experts agree that Terence Crawford is an outstanding fighter with top-level skills and smart ring tactics. However, his upcoming fight brings new challenges, especially since he's moving up in weight to face Canelo, who is considered one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in history. Analysts say Crawford will likely stick to his usual game plan, because making big changes at this point in his career, especially in a higher weight class, could be risky. Crawford's style has always focused on accuracy, counter-punching, and smart patience, and he will probably use the same approach against Canelo. But facing a strong and experienced champion like Canelo in a new weight class makes the situation more difficult. Analysts believe that Crawford's ability to use his usual strategy without pushing himself too far will be key to his success.
Crawford gonna beat Canelo Alvarez. We need to talk about it. When we look at the guys who've had success with Canelo, we'll look at Bivol, we'll look at Golovkin, we'll look at Floyd, and we'll look at Lara. Yes, I'll throw Lara in there. Why not? I think all these fights are absolutely irrelevant coming into this bout. Some of them are just dated, or some of these guys' style just cannot apply. For example, a guy in Lara. If Crawford wanted to fight how Lara fought Canelo, he would probably gas out in 7 rounds, or if he made it 12, he just wouldn't get that decision. It's that simple. Let's take a guy in Golovkin. Crawford just simply does not have the punching power, nor do I think he has the gas tank at 68. He's not a good enough puncher to try to fight Canelo like Golovkin. He doesn't have the physical traits, even in the chin department. Then you have Floyd Mayweather. While both can have a bit of similarities, the speed, reflexes, technical prowess, IQ, timing, counterpunching, lateral movement, it's just too much from Floyd. I don't think Bud could take much from Floyd's game plan to implement it into his own success in September. And then you have Dimitri, the speed, the technical prowess, the IQ, the length is too much. So essentially, Terence Crawford is going to have to beat Canelo in a way that nobody has ever beaten him or gave him any issues in. I'm going to tell you exactly how Crawford's going to fight. He's going to fight like his damn self. It's too late in his career to change up the game plan. It's too late in his career for him to want to change up the game plan coming to a fight of this magnitude with a style he's never fought before. That would be a recipe for disaster. He's going to be more than likely off the back foot. He's going to be looking for counter shots. And I think there will be a point in this fight where he's simply just trying to survive. I like Crawford. He's an amazing pound-for-pound fighter. A different animal at 168. This is one of the greatest of all time. I see win scenarios for him, but I don't see him being realistic. I can see him fighting off the back foot, using his speed, timing, and feet to stay away from Canelo, but that's...
Nico Ali Walsh, a rising boxer and commentator, shared his thoughts on the fight, saying it's a very close matchup. He mentioned that Crawford has been sparring with heavyweight fighters recently, showing that he can handle bigger opponents. This could help him when facing the larger Canelo. Walsh's point adds an interesting angle, suggesting that Crawford has trained hard to deal with the size and power difference by practicing with heavier fighters. He believes this preparation makes the fight a true 50-50, where either man could win. His view highlights the excitement and uncertainty of the fight, as both boxers have unique strengths and challenges, making it hard to choose a clear favorite.
He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But, you know, I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool. And I have so much belief in Bud. And I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything, he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades.
Legendary. Trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas gave a balanced view on the Canelo versus Crawford fight. He pointed out that Canelo has the clear advantages in power, size, and physical strength, which are important in any match. But he also praised Crawford for his technical skills, ring intelligence, speed, and strong passion. Atlas described the fight as a real clash of styles, Canelo's physical strength versus Crawford's technical brilliance. He said both fighters have qualities that could help them win, making it a very close and competitive fight. According to Atlas, the result will depend on who can stick to and carry out their game plan better on the night of the fight. That's why he sees it as a true 50-50 fight, with strong reasons to believe either one could come out on top.
He's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is. But who's he beating? He unified the, what was his first division? Lightweight, then he unified the junior, then he unified the junior welter, then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter. He unified like 3 different weight classes. He moved up in weight. Guys are tired of me saying it. I look at him. Look, Canelo's special too. I get it. And he's bigger. I get that too. And everyone's going to say, well, after Madrimov fight again, had a couple hiccups. Now he's stepping up another weight class. Now he's got to fight Canelo, who's even bigger, stronger, better puncher, a unified champion that he's been, all of that stuff. He's not going to be able to handle it. I asked this question. See, I go to the other side. I say, okay, yeah, can Canelo handle the smaller guy who's going to be faster, who's going to be slicker, who's going to be better defensively, who's going to have better legs, who's going to be able sometimes Canelo at this point in his career can slow down a little bit. They're both getting older.